Okay, now that I've turned the orientation around so that it's not a selfie anymore. Yeah, I like that better. Because I want you to see what I see. I don't necessarily want you to see me. And a couple of things. So first of all, this video is for my friends who are content creators, YouTubers, open source software developers, but in particular those who do it from a point of passion. They do it because they want to be in control of their time and their efforts. They want to work on things that are important to them, whether or not those things are important in the mainstream or whether there's an obvious way to capitalize on those efforts, meaning, can you go out and get a job doing it? Do you have the athletic skills to be on a team to do it? Are you popular enough that it's easy to make money on YouTube, just sharing revenue? And so I'm in particular interested in working with people that would say no to that. Their answer would be no. There isn't an easy, obvious, lucrative, fun way of doing this, and so they're going to create it. They're going to get on YouTube. They're going to do Patreon. They're going to do Kickstarters, crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, or they're going to raise venture capital or something. But really, I'm towards the do-it-yourself. People primarily doing this individually, and my advice that you just have to take on faith, but my advice is that you play some mental games with yourself and envision different scenarios and think about whether or not they would work for you, or how you could make them work, or how you could refine what I'm about to share here on this video. And so one of the mental games is you are a content creator. You make videos of what you do, you post them on YouTube, that sort of thing. Well, one popular way of making that work is to share in the advertising revenue of YouTube. And that is pretty much YouTube's main play, right? YouTube, which is owned by Google, allows you to host videos for free, effectively. And they have a comment system, and they keep track of how many people watch them, and they have trendings and so forth, and YouTube videos are easy to embed elsewhere. It really is a great service. But the way Google has decided to make money from YouTube, the way YouTube has decided, let's just talk about YouTube, is advertising. Yeah, see, I just said, let's just talk about YouTube. Well, you can't really talk about YouTube without talking about Google. And you really can't talk about it without talking about its economic philosophy, which is that advertising is good and companies pay for it, and so then all they need is content to put those ads on. And so, man, if you guys can keep generating content that we can keep putting ads on, we'll give you a piece of that ad revenue. Well, okay, I personally don't like advertising, and I think if we have to be honest with ourselves, most people really do not like advertising. Now, here's what I do on my YouTube channel. I've turned all the advertising off from very early on. Like, day one, I believe. I mean, when I set the account up, I turned advertising off. Well, why would I do that? I don't like it, so why should I create content that needs advertising revenue to sustain itself, or to pay for my efforts? Well, what if you did that? At least conceptually. Conceptually think about what use would YouTube be to me if I were to turn off all the advertising on my channel so that no ads could appear and no ad revenue would be generated. There would be no motivation to play the ad game on YouTube anymore. What if everything I did I gave away for free? What if the only revenue that I wanted to get was in the form of a thank you for something I had already done, already shared? Then we're looking at something more like Patreon. And I'm not saying Patreon's perfect. I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all of solutions. And I should also point out, I'm talking about maybe Patreon with YouTube. Right? YouTube lets you post videos that are private. Only you can see them. Public, which is what most of us are aware of, or unlisted, or sort of hidden. Okay, those are the three options. Public, private, unlisted. Unlisted means anyone can see it if they have a link to it. Okay, well, boom. There's a way to create value right there, right? You have some content that's public, and you have some that's unlisted. It's available for free, but you have to know how to get it. You have to be like in the club. You have to be in the know. Or you have to be on the inside somehow. Well, what's the cost of being inside? I don't know, maybe it's free, but it's like a fan club for a band back in the day when you used to send a, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope or for something, and then you could be part of the Beatles fan club or the Monkees fan club. Think about the Monkees. This was a band that was created around the time of the Beatles, maybe after the Beatles were already popular, but it's in the early days of like rock and roll, and they make a band to create content for a television show, but some of those songs actually go on to be popular. And people still talk about the Monkees and Davy Jones. And I think Davy Jones appeared in an episode or two of that Florence Henderson, the Brady Bunch, right? And we have all kinds of examples of this. Okay, content creators, think outside the box. Some of you, you're spending way too much time editing your content, making this perfect video. You are ignoring or letting fall by the wayside all the content that you are generating but not capturing while you're doing the thing that the video is about. All the behind the scenes, the bloopers, the outtakes, the struggle, the effort, the process. I don't necessarily want to